Many people consider Garry Kasparov to be the greatest or one of the greatest chess players to ever live. He's a 5-time world chess champion and spent 14 years holding on to the highest FIDE rating ever achieved until that rating of 2851 was surpassed by Magnus Carlsen in 2013. Kasparov brings an extremely competitive and disciplined attitude to chess and has been instrumental in bringing the game to a historic new level. However, what I think a lot of chess players may be less familiar with is Kasparov's post-retirement political involvements, and specifically his opposition to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Today's video, of course, is in response to the recent atrocities initiated by Putin in Ukraine, and I wanted to explore some insights into the situation from the perspective of someone like Kasparov, who spent years building a deep understanding of Russian politics and nationalism. Kasparov's current views are a stark divergence from his childhood. He was raised in Russia and represented his home country throughout his chess career. His grandfather was a staunch communist, and Kasparov himself joined the Communist Party in 1984, but personal doubts about the Soviet Union led him to abandon the party only 6 years later. Though Kasparov could have easily sworn off politics at this point, he instead helped to found the liberal anti-communist Democratic Party of Russia, and 1 year later, Kasparov lauded the opposition of communism in a speech in Washington, D.C., urging American leaders to deny financial assistance to various Soviet leaders. Kasparov devoted the following decades to fighting for democracy and freedom in the face of growing communist control of his home, and very specifically targeted Vladimir Putin by helping to create the Other Russia, a coalition that united and coordinated Russians to make a political stand against Putin. Many appreciated Kasparov, many did not. Kasparov once signed a chessboard for a quote-unquote fan who later stated, "I admired you as a chess player, but you gave up that for politics." Kasparov was then assaulted with the same board he had signed, and later he was also assaulted with ketchup and eggs during a political meeting. Though an egg attack might seem humorous in hindsight, or more of an annoyance than a legitimate threat, some have observed that these publicly violent attitudes towards Kasparov are a risk that could escalate into real assassination attempts. Kasparov continued to make noise in the Russian political arena, and in 2007, he held a pro-democracy demonstration in Moscow that drew the attention of over 9,000 police officers. Kasparov and many others were arrested, though Kasparov himself was charged and released hours later. If you're familiar with any of Kasparov's chess games or his former chess career, you should know that he does not give up easily, and these setbacks with the Russian authorities did little to intimidate him in his long-term ambitions to reform Russia's politics. In 2008, he ran for president of Russia, and while he did not win, he clarified that this loss met with his strategic expectations. The goal of the Other Russia is not winning elections, but to have an election, he said. "We're trying to force the regime to accept our right to participate in free and fair elections, to agitate the Russian population and the Russian public to support our ideas." Kasparov lent his name as one of the 34 signatures on the iconic Putin Must Go campaign, and later in 2013 shared the following statement: "Fascism has come to Russia. Project Putin, just like the old Project Hitler, is but the fruit of a conspiracy of the ruling elite. Fascist rule was never the result of the free will of the people. It was always the fruit of a conspiracy by the ruling elites." Tensions became so intense between Putin and Kasparov that he became unsure when, if ever, he'd be able to return to his home country. Though he continues to this day to take actions in support of his people, speaking against Putin for his communist government, anti-gay laws, and dictatorship. In 2015, Kasparov published the book Winter is Coming: Why Vladimir Putin and the Enemies of the Free World Must Be Stopped. This book likened Putin to Adolf Hitler and urged the West to oppose him quickly instead of appeasing to delay an eventual confrontation, and also spoke directly against the apathy of the United Nations policies towards Putin and other dictators. A deep analysis of Putin's recent invasion of Ukraine is not necessary to understand just how right Kasparov has been all along. Kasparov has observed Putin's obsession with Ukraine for years, as well as Putin's propagandistic ideas that Ukraine is not an independent state and deserves to return to its rightful rule under Russia. Kasparov has long encouraged the West to unite in a stronger stand against Putin, and has observed that America specifically has failed to take the necessary steps to halt Putin's aggression, criticizing multiple U.S. presidents, including George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump, for their failures in this area. Now that Putin has acted out the atrocities Kasparov has warned the world about for years, Kasparov has become critical of the Biden administration's response as well, claiming the current sanctions against Russia are not tough enough, and the West's response amounts to too little too late. While Kasparov hasn't gone so far to recommend foreign troops being deployed in Ukraine, he has laid out a 4-step plan that he believes will checkmate Putin with an efficient end to the current conflict. Kasparov is pushing for increased military support of Ukraine, not with soldiers, but with shipments of advanced modern weaponry. The people of Ukraine have shown amazing bravery in the face of Russia's invasion, but Kasparov observes that bravery and excellent soldiers alone cannot win a war without the necessary armaments. Kasparov is also encouraging the West to take stronger steps to bankrupt Putin's war machine, to freeze Russia's financial assets and banks, and to bar Russia from participating in international sports activities. Kasparov looks to the West to use its influence to ruin Putin's power, scope, and financial institutions, leaving Putin with no choice but to accept defeat. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Kasparov and his political stance against Putin, as well as the current criminal war being waged against Ukraine. Please keep the comments civil, and remember that while the nation of Russia is in the wrong, the majority of the people of Russia are not to blame for what's happening, and many of them stand in opposition to Putin, just like Kasparov. My thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Ukraine. Putin's invasion is nothing short of evil and insane, and the people of Ukraine did nothing to deserve this. They're innocent people who simply want to live in peace, freedom, and independence. Like Kasparov, I personally hope that the West takes a stronger stand, and I hope that politicians in the US and around the world can hear Kasparov's insight and actually give him the legitimate consideration he deserves. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a bit of a departure from our usual content, so if you'd like to see where I put Kasparov in my top 5 chess players of all time, click that video to the left. If you're interested in checking out our chess opening videos, click that playlist to the right. Leave a comment down below to let me know what other videos you'd like to see covered on this channel, and as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.